Home is where the heart is, right? There's nothing in my chest, so it must be out there somewhere, right?
Dear Fiona, thank you for writing such an emotional and enjoyable poem. I found myself crying all the way through it. Your poem caught my attention right at the beginning. Home is where the heart is, right?
Oh, I'm not religious, but I pray that this hole that's eating me up isn't contagious, like it isn't a terminal disease that is spreading out throughout my body. So, where is my heart? Is it back in Burma where I left my grandmother as I cling on to her for the last time, wishing I didn't catch her lie, saying she will see me again soon? My grandmother who woke up extra early to go to the market to get sticky rice for me. My grandmother who shielded me with her bodies from words that were a little too sharp and hits that were a little too repetitive. My grandmother who told me everything was going to be okay, or is it in Malaysia, where I found solace in 100-degree weather with a broken fan in a shoebox room I shared with my family of 4. I could read for hours on end because isn't education what we came here for? I learned the multiplication table by the age of 6, but the most important lesson was that there's no quick fix for this emptiness.
Your definition of home is somewhat similar to mine. My home, Haiphong, Vietnam, has always been in my heart. Many times I found myself with an empty chest and questioning myself, why am I here? The day that I left Vietnam 2 years and a half ago is one of the saddest days in my life. I would never forget the way my mom and my family looked at me with the sorrowful eyes. The moment that I used all of my strength to hug them with hope that somehow this wasn't real. Despite the fact that I love my family so much and they love me as well, I still left for a brighter future and a better education, I guess.
Or is it here? The ultimate sacrifice, prying eyes and condescending tongues, the price you pay for education, I guess. But can you guess why education has failed America so badly no one knows? Ching chong isn't a word in any language. Is my depression and anxiety the price I have to pay for this journey I had no say in?
My grandfather once told me that everything has its price. As you question yourself in the poem, is my depression the price? I did, and I still ask myself this question so many times. Education over family, is it worth it? Sometimes I wish there would be a magic door, so whenever I open it, I can be home. But life is not simple, and nothing can release my homesickness, nothing. All I want is to be with my family.
Because I will see that therapist who thinks she is helping by taking notes and smiling. I will sit and smile for everyone else to see. Hell, I will even take the words that are a little too sharp and hits that are a little too repetitive if it means I can stop looking for my razor, if it means I can stop picking at my skin until I feel warm blood under my nails, if I can stop punching walls just to feel...
The last part of your poem really upsets me due to the fact that you've tortured yourself to overcome the pain. In my perspective, it's not healthy, and I think you are well away from it. I hope we could talk and share our experience about homesick and culture shock. Being far away from home is one of the hardest things I ever done in my life.
I can stop punching walls just to feel something. Anything to feel where my heart used to be. Stolen by steps I've made along the way for this ultimate sacrifice.
To all my black daughters, I want to teach you that you are the complexion of envy, golden black to go with your golden history.
Dear Ebony Maniza, I'm writing this letter to let you know that I think you should have been the first place winner of Drop the Mic. I enjoy every one of your poetry, but my absolute favorite was the poem about your daughters. I really loved that poem because I felt like you were speaking to me. It has really touched my heart.
I want to prepare you for hateful conversations and tell you to wrap your hair so everyone knows you're African goddess, you're beautiful, like Egyptian skies at night, like a tan Indian woman, like Snickers, Milky Ways, and Kit Kat bars, the color of pure things untainted, the taste of a sweet, dark wine, but you don't age.
I am from Senegal, and when I came here to start school, I did not have the best experience. I was constantly being bullied about my skin tone. Over time, I started to hate the color of my skin. I would beg my mother to bleach my skin, and the response was always no. I got really tired and attempted to put matters into my own hands. Your poem brings back a lot of memories. I wish I had someone like you to tell me the things you told in the poem. I felt beautiful, honored, and proud to have such a rich dark chocolate skin tone. Thank you so much for this wonderful poem.
I want to show you how to wear your dark skin like designer clothes. Your complexion is expensive in the sun. The sun is the golden elixir to keep you shining like night stars. And if anyone ever tells you anything different, I'm going to sit you at the table and I'm going to teach you how to write bars. I'm going to tell you how the world don't want us to be famous because we be the only shining stars. The darkness of our skin may just dim their lights. No one wants to admit how my black skin is so bright. I'll give you lines so you can be prepared for the ignorant comments people will say about your beauty. You're pretty for a black girl, or my favorite, you're pretty for a dark girl. You will be an even darker version of Rudy. As a camouflage from the hate, I'ma buy you black rubies. See, colored people are beautiful like rainbows, and the color of our children no one may ever know. But no matter what your complexion is, never be upset though. Be sure you rock your skin proud and wear a fro. Light shades of dark skin, I'm in love with everything about you. If I had to change you, I would keep you the same. You're the complexion of sugar daddies, caramelized candy, rich honey, the rise of the sunset, and you glimmer like golden nuggets. All shades of black have a story, and if we were the same, it would bore me. It's beautiful how we're diverse like different countries. You shine like a bright orange sun. Your shade of black is not better than mine, and my shade of black is not better than yours. Your color is divine. You're beautiful and exotic like palm trees, black sand, and blue seas.
Fuck black people. Yeah, I said it. Y'all would rather sit around and talk all day about a whole situation than dead it.
Monty was on the show October 17th episode. One of the lines from his poem that I liked was, "If it's what you want, you have to go get it." That is relatable to me because I don't let my mom really buy me stuff anymore. Also, she doesn't want to buy my belongings anymore. The reason for that is because I'm growing up and is of age to buy my own things. In order to buy my own belongings, I need to have some type of form of way to have money to get what I want. That means I have to find a way to go get it and get what I want.
Now that shit, I don't get it at all. Y'all always halfway rise and then fall. Quick to put somebody else on blast, but let's talk about you, and it's, oh, we'll just leave the past in the past. So you could talk about this hoe all day, but we can't talk about how you the real hoe. Like how you let another man make you clean his field with no steel toe, and when you got thirsty, you tried to drink some of his water. He was like, chill, bro. You said, brother, I'm just trying to stand up for myself. And he was like, hell no. At one point, you even tried to turn into him. And he was like, no, yo, you good. You straight, right where you are. And that's on a bus or in a 12-year-old car. I used to sympathize and listen when black people complain. Now I don't care no more. Now I don't care to listen no more because it all sounds the same like that sound Sean made in the bathroom on Soul Plane. The sound of nagging just really drives me insane. Okay, I get it. So what? You in some shit. Somehow, some way, you did it. Now that you got this problem, okay, how you gonna fix it? Hold your head down, be patient, and stick with it. You'll know when you're doing right. Trust me, people are self-proclaimed critics. And if it's what you really want, you're gonna get it. And it's about right there where I start losing them and they start slipping, tripping, going on about how they can't get this and don't know how to do that. Bitching, you know, always bitching. Scary asses, always afraid. And that's it. They're so afraid to grow up. Did I do it? Yep. Was it easy? Fuck. No, it wasn't. It sucked. Growing up was tough. And to be quite honest, I'm still growing up. Yep. At least I'm going after what's mine instead of feeling like it's old. They took your shit and ain't giving it back. Didn't you listen to what OJ told? You think they just gonna give you something? You bold. Man, that way of thinking is old. Black people want black businesses, but there are no black businesses because black people don't support black businesses. I didn't make that up. Black people want black businesses, but there are no black businesses because black people don't support black businesses. Black businessmen with no black businesses. Where are you supposed to conduct business then? Right now, it seems to me that nigga doesn't mean ignorant. Nigga means hypocrite. And I'm sick of it. Want to complain about all the shit you ain't got, but ain't willing to wash a dish for it. You insane if you think something's going to happen just because you wish for it. The oppressees are tired of being oppressed, so they go to the oppressors and asking them to stop oppressing. The oppressors heard the oppressees and questioned if they should stop oppressing the oppressed. The oppressed waited patiently for the oppressing to stop, but the oppressor realized how much he needs the oppressee. So the oppressing never stops. The oppressee flops. The oppressed eventually drops right back in line for the oppressor, which is right under the cops. Waiting on the one that slaved you to save you.
The other line I felt as though I liked or could relate to was, we may look the same, but you're not my equal. I think I can relate to that because I feel as though, as a black male in 2017, we're all put into this one category that makes us all look like we are the same. I say that because we all can't be the same, because if that was the case, we all wouldn't be here. We all would just be made up of one. Then me as a person, I just feel as though we may do the same thing, but you don't do the same thing I do the way I do it because I'm different. With that being said, I can relate to the line of poem and it actually means something to me, but that's just me. I can't speak for everybody else.
Speaking of cops, I'm not going to talk about how they treated people through the years, but what really brings me to tears is to see that I have a 7% chance of getting killed by them, but a 93% chance of being killed by me. I have a 93% chance of walking in the street on my way to get something to eat to be blown away by a nigga just because I'm clean and I got fresh sneaks. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives don't matter. Black lives matter to black people when sentence read, black man gets killed by a cracker. Black lives do not matter. Y'all talk about who killed who like the shit is just regular chatter. Got to get killed by a white person to say that my life mattered. Man, fuck black people. We may look the same, but trust me, you not my equal.
I'm waiting for this cough syrup to come down and put me out of my misery. Passers-by already consider me to be the walking dead, you know, something like a zombie, considering how I never fall down no matter how strung out I am.
Dear Tajay, I loved your first poem about heroin. It was a very powerful poem. When watching you perform your poem, I could see the hurt in your eyes. I could see that everything you were saying was true, that your happy times became better for you. I can imagine the confidence it took to read that poem on TV and in front of an audience. You are very brave.
My raggedy sleeves hang low. To cover up the burning scabs, I can't stop picking at sleeves as low as my self-esteem, knowing I am killing myself slowly, chasing that euphoric high I felt the first time I allowed her to enter my bloodstream and alter my mind completely now. I can't focus on anything except for when am I getting high again. But I wasn't always like this. It was supposed to be a one-time thing. The end of all my problems, not the start. They told me it would be fun, that everyone was doing it, that she was the gateway to pure bliss, yet she did nothing but unlock the doors to this forbidden path. Engulfed by darkness there, I am met by a stranger as I found comfort in his dirty arms, as the only illumination coming from a lighter. As we sparked up and shot up, I lose all recollection of who I am because the only name I respond to now is crackhead.
When you said they told me it was fun, that line was very relatable. A lot of people getting addicted to drugs because of peer pressure. Your poem reminded me of my mother's brother. He has an addiction to K2. K2 is a synthetic weed substance. He's been smoking it for a while now, and he's not the same. I think K2 does something to your mind because one minute he can be having a conversation with you, and the next he would be confused and wouldn't know what we was discussing. So I totally feel where your poem is coming from. And I don't know you, but I'm proud of you.
After my frequent visits with Mary Jane and crack cocaine, I am now left shackled to a pipe and chained to the corner of Zombieland as my life goes up in angel dust. She branded her name on my lips. Blackened my lungs, stained my thoughts, sunk in my face, reduced my weight to just about nothing. Paranoia washes over me with every police car passing, my skin crawling as I attempt to scratch away at these pestering urges that completely take over my body, a body that doesn't even belong to me because it's daddy's now. As I have to get on my knees to pay off his debt, she shoves me further into this cage of addiction and locks me in. I cry out for help with every sign I write, but society passes me. Their heads held high with pride, so much so they can't even spare some change. They believe that this is a choice and not a mental illness. Like, I asked to be like this, but do you really think I asked to be like this? Alone, ashamed, an addict. Like, I prayed to the heavens and stars above to be a fiend. I know this may seem hard to believe, but I once had vibrant dreams, neon and colorful, but the only dream that seems to be coming true is me chasing that dragon. With every fiery breath, all my family relationships are left shattered, friendships ruined, but the only friend who stuck around, her name is crystal meth. It's crystal meth. Listen, I've tried to break free, release my sins and come clean, become a working cell in this body that is society instead of being cancerous. But do you know how many facilities pick and choose what addictions they want to treat? 68%. The other 32 just slam the door in my face because one addiction is more curable than the others. Doctors are blinded by their own ignorance, like I'm not human. Their heads held higher, believing that I can't fight this without the weapons of their expertise, because you know that pharmaceutical companies are the second biggest businesses next to the prisons, but what's the difference? You're still trapped. But I have a better key. A remedy of hope, determination, faith, and a sprinkle of support from the very few who still believe in me will be the straw that'll break the hold she has on me. So yes, I am an addict, as acknowledgement is the first step to ascension.
See, since age 12, I've been doing time. January 12, 2006, I was sentenced to my first bid. I was, dang!
Dear Dave, I believe that in the first showcase, you really brought yourself out. When you were up there on stage, you seemed a bit nervous, but you overcame that fear and finished strong. One time during your little rap, you messed up for a second, but I like how you recovered right then and there.
See, since age 12, I've been doing time. January 12, 2006, I was sentenced to my first bid. Months, I did 29. Came home at 15, and not too much change, was still young, wild, and free, learning from my visual, but of course I couldn't see that the life that I was living, it just wasn't meant for me. At 16, acquired beef, ripping and running in the streets, and yes, I admit it's true, I was balling with the heat. 17, I had a son, and I knew I had to make a change, but I didn't. I was still running the streets, and my excuse was I had to eat, plus a son I gotta feed, so I gotta get this cheese, right? Wrong.
Your first showcase, rap/poem, related to me in a different way. The two lines that really stood out to me in your first rap was that you made a choice to be free and also to be a better me. I think that you had a very good interpretation when you were reading. You had a good energy and facial expressions. When the times in your rap were kind of down, your expressions went with it. I am appreciative of you because in your poem, you spoke to me in a way and I liked it a lot.
See, I just felt the need to be free, and everything that I was chasing just wasn't for me. 3 months later, the shackles reacquainted with my ankles and the cuffs with my wrists. Did another bid. While in placement, I was stressing, progressively regressing, a superstar student to the faculty and in class, but alone I was broken. My mental needed a cast, maximum effort to make it out, but the effort didn't last because I made it home at 18. And y'all know how this goes. I caught another bid. But this time I wouldn't make it home till I was 23. 5 years I sat, 5 years I learned, 5 years I had to make a choice.
The biggest way that I related in your poem is when you said you made a choice to be free and a better me. You made me think of a time when I was struggling in high school with work and I wanted to be a better me. Back in my sophomore year, about the middle of the year, I already had a good grades and in the first 2 quarters. I thought that I was good for the rest of the year and kind of laid back. But then I basically stopped studying and missed some homework assignments and grades really went down. Then by that time, it was getting late in the year. I had all my parents yelling at me and I knew that I had to act fast. So I sat down and one night and basically talked to myself, telling myself that I needed to change and get on the ball. Lastly, I sat down with my parents and teachers to have them knock some of this sense into my head. And my teacher let me make up work to be back on track and I started studying.
I made a choice that before I see my children grow up fatherless because of my ignorance, I'm going to walk through the hottest of hell's fires. That before my children have to wear a free or RIP dad shirt, I'm going to make it past my condition. That before my children can fix their lips to say, where's my dad? I'm going to break the shackles that for so long have bound me to the lost souls in the ghetto and risen above my condition. That before I follow the path of recidivism, I'm going to make my own path. That before I follow the cycle, I'm going to go square. I made a choice that I'm going to no longer just see with my eyes and hear with my ears, but do both with my heart because it is through my heart that I live and through my heart that my mind thinks purest. I made a choice that I'm going to be the example for my children that was never set for me. I made a choice to be free. I made a choice to be a better me.
I didn't stay for the whole final showcase yesterday, but I hope to hear that you won. Sincerely, Ryan.